Today we're going to try something really crazy. 23.9, close enough. These are very close to true O scale. You don't want to try this with a modern transformer. So this is based off of a real B&O caboose from 1916 up to 1938. That is not helpful. Now it is truth or consequences time. Part of the circuit is running through this wire arm here. Very simple but effective animation for the layout. Hello again, this is Mike with Toy Train Tips and Tricks, and today we're looking at a Menards U.S. military helicopter on Flatcar. This is very similar to the other Menards short flat cars. Their flats come in two lengths. The shorter one tends to have loads like helicopters and bulldozers and things like that. And so just to take a look at the cars, Menards cars come basically with two different types of trucks. The cars with the loads tend to come with the plastic trucks, plastic coupler, although it does have a metal coupler tab, so it works with a magnetic uncoupler. Nice rolling trucks with simulated roller bearings, so it looks like a more modern truck. But plastic to keep the expense down to cover the cost of whatever load is on top. Yes, you can remove the load if you wish. This is just zip ties holding that on there, but I'm going to leave that on there as it is. So I received this as a Christmas gift. And I had personally avoided purchasing any of the helicopter cars because whenever you see them in the catalog online, they're always in this configuration. And I wasn't sure, because I hadn't actually seen them in the store, I wasn't sure if the rotors collapsed down. And I was looking at that and thinking, wow, that could cause some clearance problems on the layout. But in fact, the rotors do close down, and so that isn't a problem. So compared to other flat cars, these will work on O27 and larger radius, so just anything out there. And comparing these to comparable Lionel cars, your typical shorty Lionel flat car, like your starter set versions, are a bit shorter than a Menards car. And Lionel's longer flat car, like the Topsy flats, are just slightly larger. And like I said, Menards does make a longer flat car that's more suitable for wide radius track. Those are also a little bit more expensive, but so that gives you the idea. If you're looking at something that'll work with O27, you're looking for some new stuff. It's longer a little bit and more realistic. I like the simulated wood deck. More realistic than your Lionel starter set flat car. Not quite as long as the Topsy, also the Lionel Searchlight cars use that same frame. But there it is. And Menards does have a longer car as well. The graphics are generally pretty good. My one little bitty pet peeve about Menards graphics is the upside is that most of their cars come in multiple road numbers so that you can make a unit train of cars with different numbers. The downside of that is the number is usually this little sticker, and you notice the font is a little different than what you have with the printed graphics here. If that's really going to bother you, maybe a quick spray of dull coat or something on there might tone it down a little bit. But for a $20 car, I'll take that. So here it is. The Menards, and if you don't have a Menards in your area, if you're not in the Midwest where they are predominantly, you can order online and have them shipped to your home. Most of the country, not in California for certain packaging reasons, but most other U.S. states you can have these shipped to your home. Or if you do have a Menards in your area, you can do site to store, which I recommend. Because with the site to store, in addition to getting the plastic shell, that they come in, what you see them on the box, or sorry, on the shelves at the store. There's also an outer cardboard carton, an additional box to provide some extra protection. And if you do a site to store or ship to home, either way, you get that outer box as well. So I recommend that. So enough talking about these. Let's put it on the layout and see what it does. All right, so putting them on the layout, threw a quick train together here. We've got our Lionel GP38, actually a 39-2, but okay. And then I mixed in the Menards Army cars with some Williams cars from the early 1980s. These cars that you'll see here are actually based on original Kusan molds. Williams made these 1982, 1983, but these are direct copies of the Kusan cars. Sorry, I used to think it was pronounced Kusan, but I recently saw a TV commercial for them, one of their originals, and they pronounced it Kusan. So, but these are direct copies all the way down to the Kusan type couplers, which was a one-piece molded coupler, which on the original Kusan cars seemed to work okay, but these Williams, I think the knuckles are a little bit smaller, and they like to uncouple from one another. So I need to mix those in with Lionel style knuckle couplers to keep the train from separating. So anyway, you see one of the box cars based on the Kusan K series. Here we go, our new Menards Army helicopter car. And another Williams car. This is based on Kusan molds. The cannon, when in the Kusan car, was actually on a shorter flat car. Kusan made the depressed center flat, but for some reason they mounted the cannon on a short flat car, and it looked kind of silly. So Williams kind of fixed that. I like that. There we have another Menards car. This is the Air Force missile car. That's kind of cool. Speaking of missile car, here we have another one based on the Kusan molds. It's another Williams car. And you may recognize these Williams cars as being K-Line. K-Line took over these molds from Williams and made their own. So the military cars, like this one, you may recognize from the Iraqi Freedom or other military sets of the 90s. Use these molds as well, just with different trucks and different couplers. And your basic Lionel caboose on the back. Alrighty, so let's see how these operate together. So we've got Williams, Menards, Williams, Menards, Williams, Lionel, with Lionel in the front. Let's see how they look. And forward. Oh, that's a little too fast. We'll back that down a little bit so we can actually see the cars go by. Okay, so there's our helicopter car. And again, we're on the outside loop with the O42 track. No problem whatsoever on these wider radius curves. No problems with O27 either. Just as everything runs fine until you have friends come over. Same thing when you're making a video. Things that normally don't pop up as problems will pop up while you're filming. So, but anyway, so here we go. Have to run them around. Yeah, a little faster than I'd like. So again, there's the helicopter car. And here is the missile car. And by mixing up these Williams with the Kusan couplers, by mixing them in with the Menards / Lionel, whoop, there with the rotor. All right, let's get that secure. Okay, so we see a problem here that the rotor did pop free and tried to take out a switch tower. So maybe by putting some type of a small rubber band on there or something would help keep the rotors in place. Might try that. So if you go fast enough, the rotors will spin and cause a little problem there. But otherwise, let me get this back out here where we can see it. Otherwise, very nice cars, very nice running cars. And again, for the price, which is $19.99 full retail, but you can find them on sale as well from time to time. So you get the nice car load, you get a nice car, operating couplers, metal wheels, metal couplers, in this case plastic trucks, because again they want to hit that $19.99 price point, and they've got to cover the cost of their purchasing probably the die-cast helicopter. So plastic trucks to make up the difference. Same thing on the missile car. Plastic trucks on here again to make up for the cost of the missile molds and things like that. But again, for a $20 car, it's a nice change, runs nice, and good quality stuff. So if you get the chance, check out some of these Menards cars, especially if you have one in your area. All right, but until then, this is Mike signing off with Toy Train Tips and Tricks. If you like the video, like it, share it, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and until then, let's keep the trains running.